Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So Joel Osteen has come under fire for not doing enough to help the people in Houston, Texas. He's a mega pastor. His church seats over 16,000 people. It's a stadium and it's located in Houston, Texas. And people have criticized him for not opening his church to those who are seeking shelter. They have criticized him and his church for not doing enough to help out the people in Houston, Texas. And in response to the criticism, he eventually decided to open his church and to provide some kind of assistance. And his initial excuse was that the church was inaccessible because of the flooding and all that kind of stuff. So for that reason, the church did not open. Now, it's good that he eventually decided to do the right thing, but actions are judged by intentions. If your intention is just to quiet the criticism that you are facing, that is not a righteous intention. You know, that's different from someone having the intention of serving God by serving man. That's different from someone having a genuine compassion for their fellow human being. And it's just a shame that you have so many churches who are more concerned with acquiring the goods of this world than they are concerned with taking care of their fellow human being, than they are concerned with fulfilling what they claim to profess to believe. You know, professing to believe in a God that is about love and compassion, but yet they do things like this. You know, yet he didn't extend compassion to his fellow human beings in Houston, Texas, who were in need. You know, the Jesus that I was taught about was a compassionate man. You know, a man who showed mercy towards others, a man who showed compassion towards his fellow human beings by feeding the hungry, by helping and healing the sick, by raising the dead. That's the Jesus that I was taught about. I wasn't taught about a Jesus who was concerned with building cathedrals. I wasn't taught about a Jesus who was concerned with trying to acquire mansions and yachts and planes and fancy cars. That's not the kind of Jesus that I was taught about as a kid and even as an adult. But that's the kind of image that a lot of these so-called prosperity pastors preach and project. That's the image of Jesus that they project. You know, the Jesus that I was taught about spoke out against corruption. The Jesus that I was taught about was courageous. He spoke out about hypocrisy in religion among, you know, some people who had all the airs of self-righteousness, but they didn't really live up to the ideals of their religion. That's the Jesus that I was taught about. But too often, these people who are all about prosperity, they don't have the courage to speak out against hypocrisy or corruption because they are hypocrites. They are the ones who are corrupt. And I just think that it's a shame, man. It's a shame that you have these institutions, these churches that acquire all these millions of dollars, but instead of using that wealth to help communities in need, all they do is use that wealth to enrich themselves, to buy things for themselves, to build their congregations as monuments, similar to like pyramids that are all about egoism, you know, to show who is the best pastor based on how big his church is, how big his congregation is, how big his house is, how many cars he has, and how many jets he has and boats he has. The focus is all the way off. You know, they're focused on acquiring the things of this life instead of taking care of the people in this life. Instead of being really concerned about the next life that they claim to believe in so much. So I just had to share my thoughts. You know, it just speaks to a problem that we see among many churches and other religious institutions as well. You see communities falling apart, but yet you have these big mega churches in the community not doing nearly enough for the community. So I just had to share these thoughts. Tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.